So this is how you know Tyler Robinson, who shot Charlie Kirk, is a Groyper, right wing, far right wing Nazi. What's his name? Nick Fuentes follower, and not Antifa, the complete opposite side of the spectrum. There's a lot of context behind this too, but I really wanted to focus on the clues from the bullet messages, the shell casing messages he left. One of them was Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, which is an anti fascist song. And I want to point out that context for how this is reported is one way you know. You know that there's a lot of mainstream. The more mainstream a media source is, the more it tries to act like we don't know what any of these messages mean, or we can't really claim one way or another what, or it's supposed to be confusing or something like that. They're supposed to be contradictory. Um, but I even saw like some supposedly liberal or left leaning content creators just mentioning Bella Ciao and just glossing right over it. Well, it's a famous anti-fascist song, so you don't need to gloss over it. But I think it'll be explained more in context how using this anti-fascist song doesn't make him an anti-fascist. Just like a wolf in sheep's clothing doesn't make, all sheep bad. I don't really know that leftists are ever really terrorists like this, but people who claim to be leftists in order to make us look bad will do all sorts of terrorist things. But they're not leftists. They're not actually leftists. It's like a wolf in sheep's clothing doesn't make sheep bad. Anyway, but yeah, Bella Ciao you have to see in context. That if he's trying to look fascist or to blame, to look anti-fascist, or he's trying to blame anti-fascists with his actions or in some way, or make a joke or something, then that's, or again, it comes back to him calling the extreme right wing, Nick Fuentes followers, the Groypers, calling Charlie Kirk fascist, even though they're all fascists. But because Charlie Kirk isn't as fascist as they are, they call him fascist in the same way they call Antifa fascist, even though obviously Antifa are anti-fascist. But anyway, the other messages, the if you're reading this, you're gay, LMAO, that's not something any leftist would ever say, because leftists are all about solidarity and intersectionality, and sexuality being good. Leftists are about sexuality being good, not homophobia and shaming people and stuff like this. So that's how you know that he's LARPing as Antifa, if anything, but he's mostly a homophobic, extreme right wing Nick Fuentes follower. Same with the woo, um, notice bulges, furry thing. It's something from a meme to make fun of furries, and the people who make fun of the furries the most are, again, the fascist Nazi Antifa. So all this is very clear. I forgot what the other one was. Oh, yeah, the video game thing. Hey, fascists, catch this, and a bomb is, again, calling Nick Fuentes a fascist, really because he's not as fascist as they are, but along the reversed scale they have, where Antifa are the real fascists or whatever. And so all of this is really clear from people who've dealt with these types of trolls online. I've dealt with these trolls online for many, many years. Um, that he is one of these Nick Fuentes followers. And then again, the context. On the one hand, all the media, the way the media reports it, as if they can't tell, they can't follow these clues, or they can't see how someone LARPing as a leftist is obviously LARPing as a leftist from the side of the right in order to make the left look bad. And that's what the clues, such as the if you're reading this, you're gay, and the homophobia clues and stuff suggest, and the furry phobia clues suggest. So anyway, and the whole idea of the context of them having to demonize certain groups and therefore trying to keep talking about it. But I'm going to make another video about that. I really wanted to just focus on the clues from the shell casings themselves, and how they, to me, make it really clear that yeah, he's a Groyper and he's part of the anti-Charlie Kirk problem. But it's MAGA on MAGA violence. It's Mormon extremism, Mormon terrorism, just Mormonic terrorism, like we haven't talked about enough to stamp it out. But we really need to not let these guys start a civil war based on their infighting, their call coming from inside the house, or not being fascist enough for each other. We should have been shutting down these fascists earlier by having better debates with them and calling them out, and calling out the funding networks that promote this stuff, and the way social media platforms like Net and YouTube promote this stuff so much so that we end up in this situation in the first place. And again, that goes into a lot of other stuff, but I think it needs to be pointed out and drilled down what side these people are on and how it's all of them against us, but right now it's them against each other. We shouldn't encourage that. We should try to talk everybody out of that because it's ridiculous, and trying to do all these bad things and blame us for it, blame Americans for it, or blame leftists for it, or leftists are the last Americans left these days, but to blame other people for it when it's them, when they're always doing it to themselves and they're always the worst people. So we need to call that out, and whether it's MAGA on MAGA violence or Trumputineers attacking Americans or any other type of violence, we need to call it out and shut it down and stop the whole network that keeps perpetuating it. And more on that in my next video. Thanks. Welcome to the Pillar Revolution. We can overthrow these tyrants from bed with love in our sleep even, but on our phones, peaceful ways, just by spreading the truth. Thanks.